What is up, guys? It's C Tizzy, and I'll bring you guys another video, a beginner's guide video, to be able to understand how to play Madden 21's Ultimate Team. If you guys are anything like me at all, or at least if you're human anyways, you've probably spent 30 to 45 minutes kind of scrolling through, trying to see what you're supposed to do, maybe doing some challenges here and there, maybe going to the store, realizing you don't have any points because you have to spend money on those things. Going to your team and not really feel like you're getting anywhere. That's exactly where I was. So I want to try to give you guys a beginner's guide from a beginner. That way it kind of helps out with your point of view, because sometimes you have guys who've been playing this game for years and they kind of forgotten what it's like to not know how to speak Pig Latin. So let's start off with something really basic here. Let's go to the lineup here. This is just like franchise mode. So just like in franchise mode, you're going to have your offense, your defense, special team, specialist, team strategy. The only thing you don't have is your team visuals. So that's exclusive to Madden Ultimate Team. You don't have that in franchise. But pretty much it's very cut and dry, very straightforward. This is where you're going to go to be able to adjust your lineup. So you can always just go to generate best lineup. And then if you go to change active lineup, that's going to be able to give you an option to be able to create and save other different lineups that you want to use specifically, right? So you don't have to continually, add a player here, add a player there. And that's important, because if you ever decide to get competitive, which at that point you obviously won't need a beginner's guide, but certain players have salary caps, so you can't have over XYZ. And what that helps out with is like making people pick strategically based on who they're going against, and not being able to have 99 everybody, or just like massively overpowered people. And so if you want to switch a player, X is going to be able to go to subbing them out. And then if I want to change out Lamar Jackson for Jake Fromm, which God knows why anybody would want to do that, or even for my kicker Greg Joseph, all I got to do is press the X button. It's going to sub them out. So it's going to give us a really nice comparison down between the left hand corner and the right hand corner, and it's going to show us that, hey, they're both 6'2". The difference is that Jake Fromm is slow as shit, and Lamar Jackson is fast and speedy and bullet apparently. So throw powers 81, his is 74, etc., etc. That's not super important if you're not like a real detailed type person, but some people enjoy the, okay, hey, look, I have Lane Taylor right here at the right guard position, and I want to sub him out for, I don't know, let's say Jason Spriggs, right? Because Jason Spriggs is 6'6", and that 3-inch difference is going to give him a higher wingspan, and that might be better for, inside zone running, out of the gun, opposed to doing things more of a power way through like, single back or strong position or odd position or whatever. So that may not be politically or necessarily actual correct, but some people really enjoy, being able to see those different types of differences there, which is why they give us a very detailed version of, everything going on there. So as we can see, they give us everything from strength all the way down to their catching ability. Fun fact, I was playing earlier and a right tackle caught a ball and he fumbled, which allowed him to win the game. So yeah, so that's pretty much all you're going to really be doing there. You can also upgrade your team from this spot right here. So by pressing the square button on player options, you can upgrade, and I'll touch on that more later on. Let me go ahead and also say too that if you do not enjoy grinding, if you're not somebody who really enjoys grinding, and you're also not going to spend the money to be a pay-to-play type person, you are really, really not going to enjoy playing something like this, because this is definitely a grind. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is challenges here. So this is where you're going to spend 99.9% of your time is in challenges. And you've got a Rivals at the top. They do a pretty okay job of being able to kind of give you an introduction. But if you're anything like me, or if you're human, like I said earlier, it really seems like they didn't put a ton of time into trying to explain to you how everything works. Probably because this has been out since like 2017, as far as like the concept of like Madden Ultimate Team. So what challenges allow you to do, they allow you to earn stars, allow you to earn coins, and allow you to earn players, okay? So that's important because coins are what you use for the auction house, which I'll touch on later on in this video. But also, if you go to the top where it says milestones there's different tiers, right? So this one goes from tier 1 all the way down to tier 17, and all along the way, I'm earning different types of things. So you see at tier 7, I earned a 62 plus overall player, and sometimes I'll get lucky and that'll be like a 70 or 75 or whatever. But then you see right here, you get a 70 74 player token. You trade those in, they give you a player. And I've been playing with this here and there for certain things. I think I was doing it for coins earlier. But you really want to pay attention to your tiers and what you're going to get, because you don't want to spend a whole bunch of time just going through the challenges and then just find out that you're not really going to be able to get what you're trying to get in the first place. So in other words, you don't want to spend a bunch of time in rivals whenever you're trying to do something in superstar MVPs. So I've been doing rivals because I need to get better players in order to be able to do some of the challenges that are in superstar MVPs, in order to be able to get the 85 to 86 overall that I get after having 135 stars. So in order to get those stars, I got to be able to, do some 5-star challenges, and it's very simply just impossible without having the right players. All right. So this is where you're going to be able to get some of your higher rated, not your highest, but some of your higher rated players via the tier system or through acquiring certain players you need to be able to go get a set. Which brings us to our next part, is sets. Okay, so this is probably the bread and butter of this game, and also as far as where the grind is anyways, where it's the most rewarding. It takes hours and hours to go through the Madden Ultimate Team challenges, not necessarily because of how hard it is, which some of them can be, fairly difficult, or have ridiculous requirements like don't let your enemy, or don't let the team get 5 yards out off of 15 plays. You got to stop them every time for a sack, and that just seems borderline impossible. But what a set is, very simply, it is a requirement of players that are cards that you need specifically to acquire another player or item. So for example, right now I'm in the process of getting Jerry Rice. I already have one of the cards here, but I'm not going to trade that in until I have all 5, or at least 4 of the 5, ideally at least the 85 Jerry Rice here. Okay, so what I can do here is I can actually search for it in the auction house. I'll touch on that later on in the video. But once I have all 5 of these cards acquired, I can then hit the plus button. I add them to this set. Once all 5 are acquired, then I'll get the 89 overall Boss Legend Jerry Rice, which would be really cool. So that's why I'm doing that right now, because out of these options here, I figure between him and maybe Joe Thomas or Richard Seymour, those are probably my best options right now. So upgrading players. So this, to me, in my opinion, was probably the most complicated part of it. It shouldn't seem complicated. Like, you would think a game like this would be very straightforward, but quite frankly, it just isn't. So when it comes to upgrading your characters, I'm going to go back to the team lineup here. Or actually, let me go back to, let's go back to sets, actually. Not sets, but to my item book. All right. So in order to upgrade a player, right? So let's go to example for Eddie George. If I want to upgrade Eddie George requires to be upgraded. He requires a certain item card, okay? That's called a wild card team captain token. So typically you can search for that in the auctions, but you're not going to be able to search for that right now because pretty much everybody is using those to be able to grind and be able to go through, their own, acquisition of their team, okay? And so, where do you get that item from? Well, if you go all the way back to your challenges, and we look at the tier deal here, so go to Rivals, we'll go to Ultimate Team 101. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, well, I'm not gonna cut that out or anything, so you guys can definitely see that on the beginning of there's right there. Recruit your team captain. All right, there it is. So once you accomplish that, once you go through it, then it's going to allow you to, you know, be able to pick which one you want once you've accomplished every single one of those. And then it's going to tell you to, let's see here. It should say something to the extent of improving your team or something like that. Nope. Okay, well, point is, it's in here somewhere, and once you go through the tiers, you'll be able to see that you're gonna get a team captain token, you know, for knocking that out, and then with that team captain token, you'll be able to upgrade your player. All right. Okay, also with upgrading your players, so as you guys can see, each one of these are a different type of player, right? So based off the color. So I want to say, obviously, Eddie George is a team captain player. I need team captain items to upgrade him. Lamar Jackson is a MVP master, maybe, or a master player. It's one or the other, but in order to upgrade him, I need those types of items. So pretty much every single player, you can upgrade them to an extent with using training points. So for example, if I give him 5 training points, it's gonna unlock his scheme chemistry points, and I don't really want to do that right now, but for some people that's useful, and for some things it is, but in this particular case, I don't really believe it's going to be very useful there, especially considering his skill tree doesn't really go too far. Alright, and then let me show you guys another one here, and this is really what took me the longest to get my head around, was understanding. So a player like Mike Evans, okay? So Mike Evans is he's a MUT 21 power-up. That's basically your basic type of players who have the ability to become better, okay? Or at least that's how it seems anyways. So he has the ability to become an 87, looks like, okay, in this one. So in order for him to become an 87, at a certain point, I'm going to need an item. It's no longer going to cost just training points, it's going to cost an item. And so what that item probably is probably an 85 version of Mike Evans. Well, the way that I could do that is going about 2 ways. Either A, I already have a Mike Evans, that's 85. B, I can go buy him from the auction house, which are really the only 2 ways I can acquire Mike Evans that way. But the other way to be able to do it, that's not just RNG, is if I have one of these cards right here, these power-up cards for a player that's on the power-up path there, and I'm able to use my power-up pass as an alternative to having to have an 85 Mike Evans to upgrade him to 86 or an 87. So let me say that once more time. The power-up passes, these are used to upgrade players who have an item requirement of themselves or a different player that is between, in this particular case, 62 and 81 overall. So once again, if I wanted to upgrade Mike Evans to 87 and it requires an 81 Mike Evans, well, instead of having to go to the auction house and buy that Mike Evans, I can just use that power-up pass there to be able to get that 87 Mike Evans, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. All right, so last part here, guys, is using the auction house. And I really believe the auction house really just serves 3 different purposes. If you guys have ideas or different thoughts, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about that. The auction house, in my opinion, it only really serves 3 different purposes. So number one, the auction house should be used for players in the beginning to be able to buy players for very cheap via the bid system to be able to help them accomplish the goals they're trying to get done and the challenges that they're doing right now. Because in my opinion, when you're given a whole team of 61 and you're starting from the beginning, as you're trying to get better players quickly, and you don't want to have to go through the hassle of going through like all the tutorial type missions that are in Rivals, you're not going to be able to do what you're trying to do whenever you're having wideouts out there that literally aren't even drafted. I mean, these guys are, you know, UDFAs, and they're dropping, I'm not saying anything wrong being UDFA, by the way, but they're literally dropping in the numbers slant routes, you know, that should be going for 6, and instead it's being dropped on the ground because they don't have a high enough overall, which they probably wouldn't do that in real life. So let me kind of cover my bases there, but it just happens there. Okay, and typically too, you're going to be able to find, let me go back here to buy now. You're going to usually be able to find the bid price is sometimes significantly going to be cheaper than the buy now price. But in this particular case, you know, like right here, I believe I have a bid that I should have just won. Hopefully I won it. The bid was only like 5,700, but the buy now was like 9,000. So I got a better player without having to spend all the money. And that typically is the case. Sometimes these guys have bids where it's like 130,000 for the player, but it's going to cost to buy now. It's going to be, you know, 250,000 because they're really trying to drive that bid price up of the actual number that they're trying to get. And so the other purpose that this serves too, besides just boosting your overall team in the beginning, is it allows you to be able to acquire players for your set. So once again, if I go to my sets, so I don't want to go all the way back there, I'll probably just pull it up here now. If I go all the way back to my sets and I click on my set piece, right, it's going to show me all the players I need in that particular set. Well, if I click on that player, it's going to have a magnifying glass on it, and it's going to take me to the auction house, and it's going to search for any of the players that are available that I'm looking for in that particular set. Okay, and the third reason to be able to use the auction house is really just trying to find you know, hidden gems in the rough that people just have out there, that either A, they're just there because they already have a solid enough squad, or B, they're trying, you know, to you know, make money to be able to buy something else. And every once in a while, if you're just paying attention, changing your auction to, you go up here back to auction house, if you change it down to time remaining and it's in ascending, it's going to show you all the bids that are about to go out, you know, 5 minutes and less. And so you can have some on there that you're gonna say, oh, hey, look, that card right there, that's a steal for that card. It's only 2 minutes left. Let me go ahead and bid for it. You know, probably be able to undercut the last person who got it, you know, very quickly doing it that way. So guys, I believe that's all that I got there. I'm not going to do any cheesy subscribe stuff right now because I really just wanted to make this video for people who are like me, who are struggling trying to understand what's going on, you know, with Madden Ultimate Team. Like, am I dumb or am I stupid, or huh? You know, that's kind of how I felt. And only thing I would ask you guys to do is to be able to comment and like this if you guys enjoyed what you saw, and I was able to help you guys out. Or help you guys out at all with understanding how to play MUT. If you guys wouldn't mind liking and commenting, and that all that really does for me is it helps the YouTube algorithm be able to put this video in front of other people to be able to see and understand what all is going on and be able to play this game. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind, do that like I just said a minute ago. If you wouldn't mind, like and comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what kind of tips and tricks that you guys had on that maybe I can benefit from. Because like I said, I'm a beginner as well. So I don't have anything else for you guys. Hope that was valuable for you. See you guys next time. Peace.